Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on tonight's main news. Let's look at some of the top stories. Water shortage hits parts of Lusaka MATERO constituency. Reoccurring infernos forces the closure of Capri Girls Technical Secondary School. President Hakainde Hichilema challenges the opposition to provide solutions to economic challenges. In international headlines, IMF approves $3 billion United States loan to Ghana, and in sports, UEFA happy with FAS. We have the details of these stories shortly after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for tuning in to present the news. My name is Louisiana Lupumbwe. Let's now look at the details of the news. Some residents of Lusaka's MATERO constituency in Muchinga Ward 28 have had no water for over 4 days, prompting the residents to look to shallow water wells for the community. The lack of water has also affected water-dependent businesses such as car wash services, which have been closed due to the challenge. One of the residents, spoken to identified as Ruth Walia, says the lack of water has created a crisis, while the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company has not made any communication on the challenge to be rectified. We have details of the story.
The search for water in Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, seems to be turning into a daily routine, with a new area reporting water challenges once the situation is solved in another community, while some of the water problems have been occurring at the same time in different communities. This is a situation which has continued to cause regression to United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 6, where Zambia, among other United Nations member countries, seeks to ensure easy access to clean water and sanitation services for all by 2030. This is Muchinga Ward 28 in Lusaka under MATERO constituency, where residents say they are in day 4 of a water shutdown from the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company with no explanation.
Kansi kwena titapa yapa mugodi manje kuyamba boilinga kuyuzinga kuti tishitechani timu enangu tipikire matoilet ayasiyo kamba bene bapa mugodi nayo sitapa mahara tilipira so lese ulibe olokoini yotapira manzi kai muzi bacheba na mayo sitonse bamene tikwanisa vochitachita kugwiragwira kuti tipeze coin ndrama pena nguzitivuta upeza ulibe olokoini yakuti utapire manzi. So manzi yativuta mwandini kuno pano so tikangiwa oloboenda kunchito che kuti umuwashire buno bwino kulibe apa so pano nipakawo chipamene nayimirira pano bakangiwa kusevenza so pano but mwini wake wakaoshi ayembekezera manje kuti pa month endi bazani pasandrama ya rent pakaoshi but sibasebenza pakaoshi manje ya rent kuti ampase mwini wakaoshi azaichosa kuti
we don't have water. It goes for 3 days. We don't have water. Maybe for 4 days. We don't have water. As you can see right now, we don't have water. So it's a challenge for us. So we need your help. We don't have water in the toilet. We don't have water even for cooking. It's a challenge. You have to drink water. Water is life. Without water, you can't cook. You can't bath.
So chetungo tapache manzi so che mwanda kutunta kuribe manzi kuribe so muganizirepo pali nkani ya manzi kuribe nawe apitako kuribe nawe abwerako kuribe vonse tiziganizira
takairi pezika kudi sometimes timankhala olo 4 days 3 days 5 days it depend na mwamene yaendera manzi kuti yabwera bwanji pamene yazabwerera pamene yapo manzi next nikuyamba kukapa amapita kuti sometimes manzi tinkhala chena maybe olo 2 days olo sometimes imapezeka kuti akabwera ni 1 hour maybe 2 hours.
Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company is here to give a response on the situation, while Muchinga Ward 28 Councillor Limu Kupa has called for the matter to be handled with urgency.
So I'm appealing to the director, MD, managing director for water and sewerage, to speed up the work, to encourage, to push the engineers so that people can have water. Because the school-going children, they cannot learn if there's no water. Most of the schools, they don't have bores in this area. So it will disturb the curriculum and also the business in the community. So my humble appeal is to the water and sewerage to speed up the work so that the people can have enough water in this ward. The
residents have called for a steady supply of water, fearing an outbreak of waterborne diseases. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And now the Ministry of Education has indefinitely closed the Kapiri Girls Technical Secondary School in Kapiri District of Central Province after an inferno swept through some school dormitories. Minister of Education Douglas Hichilema says the closure of the school is also meant to pave way for investigation after reports that 3 fire incidences have been reported at the school within a period of 1 week. The minister, who spoke shortly after visiting the school Thursday morning, says the closure will also give pupils and parents relief from stress, considering that the school has had to deal with 3 fire incidents. Mr. Hichilema has assured parents and school management of active police investigations, warning anyone who may be found to be behind the fires of the full wrath of the law should the investigations prove so.
Just received another disturbing news. First of all, we had heard about an inferno which happened, I think, 3-4 days ago. And then another one happened in one of those dormitories. Now, I'm told yesterday there was another inferno. But we had already indicated to take the police who were that side, and they're still doing investigations. Now, it has now come to my attention to say that we cannot keep the kids whilst we do investigations under stress. And I know the parents have been calling me to say that how do we still keep the kids who are now actually stressed out of the inferno that they had the first day and the second day. And I'm told last night there was another inferno. So we'll keep it closed now. With immediate effect, the school is closed, temporarily closed, not because there's anything to worry about, but it's something to fear about stress. We cannot keep the kids stressed for a long time. But the investigations, officers from the security wings are at actually Capri High School. I already discussed this with my colleague at the provincial level and also the permanent secretary provincial level, and then my PSs, the 2 of them. One of them has already actually started off to go to Kapiri. So I think the parents must bear with us because they are also stressed. Because I've received so many phone calls from parents. So we cannot keep the kids being stressed as we do investigations, but the security wings are already on the ground. There are a few things that they have already come up with.
And now Chitanda Combined School Head Teacher Emmanuel Zimba has disclosed that 1 pupil from the school was killed in the first quarter of 2023 due to the road traffic accident. Mr. Zimba says there is need to enhance road safety measures in order to protect the lives of many children who have been victims of road traffic accidents. Meanwhile, Lusaka City Mayor Chilanga Chitangala says the local authority is committed to supporting road safety initiatives and promote safe roads for all road safety in Zambia. She says the launch of the Safe Journey for school children will be supportive to ensure that the lives of learners are protected. Meanwhile, the Road Safety Trust and Prudential Insurance have partnered to implement the School Safe Infrastructure Improvement Program aimed at improving and enhancing road safety features at schools. More in this report.
His story is not different from many children who have been victims of road traffic accidents, which for some have ended in tragedy. Jimmy Piri is a grade 12 pupil at Chitando Combined School in Lusaka's MATERO constituency who shares his survival story.
As we were going, a car, because I wasn't looking at it, it was coming from my behind. It hit me from the back and I was thrown in the air. I did 1 or 2 flips. I hit the ground. And blood was all over the place. So, living 1 hour, so that's where I regained my consciousness. For a 3rd day, I think the 3rd day, because for 2 days I was unconscious.
It is for this reason that the Road Safety Agency, with the support from Prudential Life Insurance, have been implementing a Safe Journey for School Children program, which is aimed at enhancing road traffic features at schools in order to help prevent children from being victims of accidents. Lusaka City Council Mayor Chilando Chitangala, who was present at the meeting, says the local authority is ready to support all initiatives that are meant to protect the lives of the Zambian people while on the road.
As we launch this program, I call upon all stakeholders to embrace road safety as a shared responsibility. We really have to share this responsibility by being very disciplined drivers and also road users, and as we walk or drive on these roads. Let us work together to promote safer roads in our communities, especially around schools.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Transport and Logistics, Frank Tayali, who was represented by the Ministry Director, has cautioned road users to be mindful of others.
I'm aware that 2 children have been injured in road accidents at this school in the past 24 months, just this period. So this new infrastructure will be able to slow vehicles and separate children from traffic, and therefore this would not have come at a better time.
Meanwhile, Road Safety Trust Chairman Daniel Mwamba says over 3,000 children lose their lives every year worldwide and says children are the most vulnerable when it comes to traffic.
Tragically, thousands of innocent lives are lost on our roads. Shockingly, according to the statistics by the World Health Organization, approximately 3,000 children are lost every day across the globe due to road traffic accidents. These are not mere numbers, these are precious lives that are cut short, dreams unfulfilled, and families forever shattered. Here in Zambia, the situation is equally alarming. About 300 children are killed on traffic as they travel to and from school.
And the area councillor, Limukupa, has pledged that the school will this year receive a 1x3 classroom block which will be constructed using the constituency development funds.
So we have given you 1x3 classroom block that will be constructed this year. So I want to say continue working hard, and we are still observing and bringing more development here.
The event was also characterized by entertainment.
Before you cross the road, you have to do what? You have to see and be seen. So before you cross the road, you look to your right, to your left, and right again. Then if there's no vehicle coming or any road users, what you have to do, you cross.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Online Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia has urged the Ministry of Transport and Logistics to quickly issue a statutory instrument, SI, which regulates the online taxi businesses, stating that the said ministry has remained mute despite failing to meet its own deadline of March 2023. Speaking to Camnet News, Association Coordinator Charles Kayela notes that online taxi drivers have continued to be harassed by traditional taxi drivers at public places such as the intercity bus terminus due to the online car hailing services having lower prices despite Zambia being a free market economy. Meanwhile, an online car hailing service, taxi driver Sibeso Mate, says the online car hailing industry lacks sanity as it remains unregulated. We have details in this story.
The coming in of online car hailing services in Zambia has been met with a lot of resistance from traditional taxi drivers, as most commuters prefer using the online car hailing services due to the significantly lower fares. Places like intercity bus terminus in Lusaka have become no-go areas for online taxi drivers, and they can easily find themselves being beaten by a mob of traditional taxi drivers and their cars vandalized once spotted. This is something that has not pleased Sibeso Mate, who operates as a driver for one of the online car hailing services, and demands that the Ministry of Transport and Logistics issue a statutory instrument, SI, that will govern the online taxi business and make it formally recognized. Mr. Mate says that despite the Ministry of Transport and Logistics in 2022 indicating that an SI would be issued by March of 2023, this has not been done.
Like when you pick a client from Intercity, you have to pay them a 20 kwacha or a 30 kwacha for you to leave those premises. They are saying they don't want any online taxi drivers to enter in Intercity, and the way they are trying to harass us is that when you enter, accidentally they will see you. They will even block your vehicle. More especially at night, it's very dangerous. They will even throw stones on your vehicles, and there has been a challenge. The more reason we as online taxi drivers, we've been asking the Honorable Minister, the Minister of Transport and Logistics, Honorable Frank Tayali, to intervene in this issue. These are the things we've been crying for almost a year. We've been looking forward to see to it that the minister himself can find a way on how we as online taxi drivers can be, we can be operating freely.
Meanwhile, Online Taxi Driver Association of Zambia coordinator Charles Kaela has echoed similar sentiments.
If the SI delays, why not delay everything? Why not shut down the app, not until the SI is out, so that we enjoy the freedom and the peace in our country? I think these are the few things that the Online Association of Zambia is focusing on, because at the end of the day, everything is migrating, everything is changing. My other request is that let us compete based on the quality of the services. Let's not focus mainly on the prices. We are going to destroy this market. We are going to destroy this industry. Let's not fight. Our former president, the late Dr. Kaunda, fought for our independence, for our freedom, and we are enjoying this freedom. As Zambian people, I'm requesting all the drivers in all angles, all over Zambia, to remain peaceful, even as we see to it that there is sanity in the taxi industry.
The Ministry of Transport and Logistics has been unreachable on the matter, as the minister in charge, Frank Tayali, did not pick up phone calls by broadcast time. Camnet News will, however, continue to seek answers from the ministry concerning the way forward on the situation. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And now, President Hakainde Hichilema has challenged opposition political parties in the country to provide alternatives to the challenges, as opposed to criticizing and demeaning his administration. Speaking during a press conference in Lusaka Wednesday, President Hichilema believes government is implementing the right policies that will revive the economy, hence challenging his critics to state how they intend to do things better. The head of state claims he is on the right track towards growing the economy, as seen from the investment pledges through the Zambia Development Agency, and the president has also directed the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, to direct resources towards encouraging people to set up milling plants in various localities to reduce the cost of milling meal. He has since downplayed sentiments that his statements on unlocking the economy, improving the welfare of people in various sectors, and reducing the cost of living are tantamount to political rhetoric. Details are in this report.
Wednesday, 19th May 2023, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema took the stand to address the nation through the press. Just like his recent address, the president did not miss his words in assuring the nation on the need to unlock the economy by addressing bureaucracies. The president bragged about growing the economy based on historical and current economic trends as produced by the Bank of Zambia.
The problems of restructuring the economy lingered on, and 1994 we went down by growth dramatically. But President Chiluba had already started planting the seed, digging the foundation. You heard me talk about digging the foundation. 4 years later, from 1991, 3 years later, the fruit was not yet ripe, and we dipped down and started again. It takes a bit of time. So that's my answer to your question. It's Zambians to understand that graph, that we're on the right path. Any reversal to what we're doing would damage us as a nation.
The president also used the occasion to direct CEEC to localize milling plant to reduce the cost of milling by providing capital to interested investors. and the president has since challenged his critics to demonstrate alternative policies that improve the local economy.
I wish to pose a question to my colleagues in the opposition who have a genuine role to play in a country. Let me pose a question to you, and through you, the journalists, pose this question to them. We ask our colleagues in the opposition to provide alternatives to these policies. Because the situation we inherited took down part of that decline in growth came from the mining sector. Now we need to ramp it up. Complex legal issues we found ourselves in, but we are disentangling this. We've taken a decision. We will not do business in courts, in mining or in other sectors.
The president said he is not being rhetorical, but practical in governing the nation.
That's not rhetoric, my sister. Getting the IMF program, IMF to support us in our request as our member. IMF is our institution. The colleagues that were there, by 2019 they realized they were losing things, they were doing wrong things. They went to IMF 2-3 times. IMF said, no, you have no capacity to manage a program. We come 6 months down the road, we met all the benchmarks. That's not rhetoric. It doesn't come from rhetoric. It comes from hard work, ingenious work, deliberate work. You may not like us. That's okay.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Zambians for Peace, Unity and Development President Ronnie Jerry has charged that President Hakainde Hichilema has missed an opportunity to adequately deal with the issue of Konkola copper mines and Mopani during his press conference. Reacting to President Hakainde Hichilema's repetitive stance on unlocking KCM and Mopani mines, Mr. Jerry has accused the president of not being serious about addressing issues surrounding the mining sector. He notes that issues surrounding KCM are no longer in the courts, thus wondering why government is not being decisive on the matter. Mr. Jerry has since accused the government of having a preferred investor to take over KCM.
We are getting worried, and what we are seeing is that the president is not serious in sorting out issues of the mines. If they were serious, trust me and get it from me, this issue could have been resolved even as early as last month. But deliberately, they are dragging these issues. We don't know whether the president and his colleagues want to frustrate the investors, especially KCM, to put in the people that they are interested in. We are very disappointed, and the president has missed an opportunity to tell the people Zambia is where it is now because the mines are not functioning. People have no employment, suppliers have not been paid, and we know since 2019 up to date, the mines, especially KCM, has accumulated a lot of costs and bills vis-a-vis payments to ZESCO and CEC. And what we know is, any investor who would want to get into, investing into these mines, government is supposed to sort out those issues first before that investor comes in.
Opposition Patriotic Front PF presidential aspirant Chishimba Kambwili has predicted a hike in the price of millet meal following an upward adjustment in the maize purchasing price. In an interview, Dr. Kambwili notes that the announcement by the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, that it will be buying a 50-kilogram bag of maize at 280 kwacha will greatly affect consumers, adding thus the price of millet meal may shoot to 350 kwacha for a 25-kilogram bag of millet meal. He says the United Party for National Development administration should have focused on ensuring that fertilizer is cheaper as well as the cost of fuel. Meanwhile, Dr. Kambwili has advised the UPND administration to stop politics of appeasement and focus on improving the lives of citizens. We have details in this report.
The recent upward adjustment in the maize purchasing price, as announced by the Food Reserve Agency FRA, that it will be buying a 50 kg bag of maize at 280 kwacha. Various stakeholders predict that this would lead to an increase in mini meal prices. The previous price that FRA was purchasing maize from farmers was at 180 kwacha. Opposition Patriotic Front presidential aspirant Dr. Chishimba Kambuli fears that a bag of mini meal may shoot to 350 kwacha for a 25 kg bag. The concern is that the country's staple food may become difficult for consumers to purchase in future. Dr. Kambuli has, however, laid down some suggestions to the UPND administration.
So in my view, the most ideal situation could have been to fight that the production of fertilizer is cheaper, the cost of seed is cheaper, we reduce on the cost of fuel for production, we reduce on electricity. So that for argument's sake, if a price of fertilizer dropped from 1,000 to about 400, and you still maintain the price of maize at 180, the farmers will still have value for their money. But this, we are waiting to see what the economist president is going to do. Because politics of appeasement should come to an end. We should look at the total holistic cost of production against the selling price.
Meanwhile, he has reminded the UPND administration to improve the lives of citizens, as promised during their campaigns.
The chairman of the FRA was saying that they increase price of mili meal because we are still giving you maize at 180. But the millers are going to start buying the maize at above 280. How do you expect them to continue giving you at the odd price? That is why I've said, and I want to say it again, leave politics to us politicians. If you're a businessman, go and do business and make profits. Profits is to balance. The farmers must make money, the poor people must survive. That is governance.
Earlier, Dr. Kambuli appeared before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court. The former opposition leader of the National Democratic Congress Party has been charged with defamation of unlawful assembly and riot contrary to Section 74 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. He is jointly charged with Patriotic Front cadre Charles Kakula. The duo, however, could not take plea in their case, as the Director of Public Prosecution has not yet issued consent to have their matter prosecuted in respect of the second count. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
And now the Lusaka City Council LCC has warned bars and nightclubs in the habit of operating outside the stipulated operation hours to desist from the action or risk prosecution and their licenses being revoked. Lusaka City Council Director Public Health Victor Kagoli says the authorities are aware of the illegal operations by those in the liquor business and discloses that a number of convictions have been made for alleged non-compliance to stipulated hours as contained in the Liquor Licensing Act. Mr. Kagoli explains that the intensified team of inspectors is in control of the matter, citing non-availability of resources to support their operations. He tells Camnet News that no sacred lamb will be spared in the execution of the law, and areas within Lusaka have already been surveyed for the heightened operations.
We are doing with the team is to make sure that every other proprietor in the liquor business complies with the law, the Liquor Licensing Act. We are aware, and this is the reason why we are active, we are aware that a number of them are able to open their shops or their businesses early, away from the prescription of law. So we have had a number currently who are in court because of the same. Those that close late, away from the law again, are in court. Of course, it is not our desire that we take every other person into court. The court must be, we have a number of cases that are running in court. The team is responsive of late. It's only that probably sometimes the resources fail us, but we are active on the ground. We are not only looking at well-established business premises, we are also going into those that are not licensed on the street, those that are selling indiscriminately, on the street. Those we are also reaching out. It's complied. Lusaka is big, and there are so many who are violating the law. But I think with the support of the fast track court, you will see a diminishing violation because we are active in court. And there is nothing like selecting. There is no sacred lamb in this process. We are taking.
Thank you so much for staying glued to our main news. Just now we take our first commercial break. When we get back, we have more local stories.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Now, the Germany embassy says 30 Zambians aged between 15 and 24 get infected with HIV every day, and that 21 of those are girls. Germany embassy head of cooperation Berhard Trotner says the situation cannot be ignored as it causes a triple threat for young women and girls to fully live up to their potential. Mr. Trotner says the local authorities should carry the mandate of ensuring that young people, especially young women, stay safe and are able to protect themselves not just from HIV but from unintended early pregnancy and gender-based violence. This came to light during the launch of the Community Management of HIV and AIDS, TB, Gender and Human Rights Coordination Toolkit for local authorities and a reference manual for district AIDS coordination advisors in Lusaka on authorities to fully utilize the programs to the benefit of the citizens. Here's a report.
According to the latest figures by the German embassy in Zambia, there's still 28,000 new HIV infections in Zambia every year, representing 40%. These HIV infections occur amongst young people aged between 15 and 24 years, translating into 30 young people getting infected with HIV every day, and 21 of those are girls. Nearly 1 in 3 girls in Zambia get pregnant before the age of 18, and 1 in 5 have experienced sexual violence. These issues have seen German embassy head of of Cooperation, Bernhard Trotner, called for local authorities to carry the mandate of ensuring young people, especially young women, stay safe and are able to protect themselves. Speaking during the launch of the class Thursday, Mr. Trotner says local authorities need to understand and accept their mandate and show leadership in mainstreaming HIV, gender and human rights in their daily activities.
According to the latest figures available, there are still 28,000 new HIV infections in Zambia every year, and 40% of those occur amongst young people aged between 15 and to look to and engage with NAC for policy updates, strategic guidance, and the latest
for gender mainstreaming and help prevent the spread of HIV in the country.
Is a key strategy in guiding planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation of development programs. It is also a prerequisite for stimulating community action statewide.
Local Government and Rural Development Minister Garin Kombo was on hand and directed all local authorities countrywide to make use of the kits in all developmental programs.
Let me give direction to all district aid coordination advisors and local authorities to put these guiding documents to good use in order to actualize the inherent benefits of accelerated production.
Lusaka Town Clerk Brighton Baimbai says the kit will act as a blueprint in community management of HIV and AIDS, TB, gender and human rights.
HIV coordination structures and ensure that they provide adequate data to inform decision making for civic leaders, council management, as well as the people who require HIV services to improve their conditions.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali says government wants to stiffen the process of acquiring a driver's license in order to curb road fatalities in the country. The minister regrets that the country is recording a lot of road traffic accidents due to human negligence, hence the need to review procedures on acquiring driving licenses. The minister's comment follows the demise of 25 people from the New Apostolic Church members last week.
Extremely regrettable. A lot of these accidents, once investigated, are revealing human negligence on the part of the drivers. I think that in this country, the process of obtaining of a driver's license is something that has been highly simplified. We need a stage where we can make it more stringent, that once authority is given for a person, particularly those that drive PSV, that is public passenger vehicles, you ought to have a much higher degree of qualification where you're going to take care. Because if you are a truly licensed driver, you cannot be overspeeding in the Kapilingozi area. It's very easy that with speed you can lose control. So we are looking at RATSA and seeing how we can reform the processes around RATSA. Apart from making sure that we are giving out licenses to only those that are competent, we also have the mandate as RATSA to be able to ensure that only roadworthy motor vehicles are on our roads. Because once a road
The Specialized Economic and Financial Crimes Court has set the 27th of June 2023 as date for continued cross-examination in the case in which Patriotic Front Acting President Given Lubinda is facing corruption-related charges. When the matter came up on Thursday, the defense applied for an adjournment on ground counsel Makebi Zulu, who is the lawyer representing the accused, as unwell. This is the matter in which acting opposition Patriotic Front Vice President Mr. Lubinda has been slapped with 4 counts of being in possession of property reasonably believed to be proceeds of crime amounting to 280,000 United States dollars. Details are in this report.
The alleged corruption-related case that acting president of the opposition Patriotic Front, Given Lubinda, is facing before the courts of law received an early adjournment. The matter was scheduled Thursday morning for continuation of cross-examination of a witness on stand, who is an arresting officer from the Anti-Corruption Commission. The Specialized Economic and Financial Crimes Court was informed this morning that his defense counsel Makebi Zulu is unwell, hence they could not proceed with the matter. In this case, Mr. Lubinda has been slapped with 4 counts of being in possession of property reasonably believed to be proceeds of crime, amounting to $280,000 United States dollars. Among the 4 counts of being in possession of property suspected of being proceeds of crime, Mr. Lubinda is alleged to have on the 3rd of March 2018 received $50,000 United States dollars from China Africa Cotton Limited, property deemed to be proceeds of crime. In the last court session, Mr. Lubinda had his application to refer his case to the High Court declined. The accused made an application through his defense counsel Makebi Zulu, requesting the court that the warn and caution statement that was recorded by the officer be part of his documentary evidence, arguing that he ought to be given enough document to support his case, adding that without so, he would be denied his constitutional rights to defend himself. The matter comes up on the 27th of June for continuation of cross-examination. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You are still watching the main news on Camnet TV. Just now we take our second and last set of commercials. When we get back, we have the rest of the news.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. And now the rest of the news. In international news, a South African town was forced to shut down part of its power generating solar panels to comply with National Grid's ESCOM schedule for daily blackouts. For the local energy distributor, wasting precious energy will have consequences for businesses. Nationwide power cuts in South Africa can last up to 12 hours a day, while many businesses cannot afford the fuel to keep generators running for hours on end. In other international stories, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) on Wednesday approved a $3 billion United States dollars loan for Ghana, a West African country in the midst of a severe economic crisis. Now, with the first immediate disbursement of about $600 million, the program endorsed by the IMF board is spread over 36 months under the extended fund facility. Here's a roundup of international news.
The International Monetary Fund approved on Wednesday a $3 billion loan program to Ghana. The 3-year program, which includes an immediate disbursement of about $600 million, provides a lifeline to the country facing its worst economic crisis in a generation. The IMF added that the new loan would help mobilize additional external financing from development partners as well as provide a framework for completing Ghana's debt restructuring. Last week, the Paris Club of Creditors, Ghana's official creditors, formed a committee co-chaired by China and France and agreed to debt restructuring talks. This paved the way for a sign-off on the IMF loan, which was agreed at staff level in December. According to government data, around $5.4 billion of debt to official creditors has been earmarked for restructuring, as well as $14.6 billion owed to private overseas creditors. A South African town was forced to shut down parts of its power-generating solar panels to comply with National Grid's Eskom schedule of daily blackouts. For the local energy distributor, wasting precious energy will have consequences for businesses.
The court refusing us, or Eskom refusing us to continue with this, it means load shedding. And with load shedding, it means that the businesses won't have, some of them will have to consider closing shop, because then they will be reliant on diesel, which is expensive, and that will mean job losses for the community of Mafube.
Nationwide power cuts in South Africa can last up to 12 hours a day. Many businesses cannot afford the fuel to keep generators running for hours on end.
We have lost chickens. It was cycle 1. It was in January. I lost, I think, about 5, not exact, but it's plus or minus 5,000 chickens in both 3 houses. In a house, it was high mortality in house 1, high mortality in house 2, high mortality in house 3 due to load shedding.
Residents and businesses started using locally produced energy from the solar power plants back in February to mitigate the impact of nationwide blackouts imposed by Eskom.
If they are not going to allow us to use the solar farm or to use our own electricity, we don't have any choice. We will have to take the law into our own hands, and it's a matter of survival. We cannot allow Eskom and NERSA to prevent us from solving the problem that was created by Eskom. They can't produce any electricity, and we are not allowed to use the electricity that we produce. It doesn't make sense.
South Africa's leading opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, accused Eskom of acting like a village bully in this case, preferring to protect its monopoly to embracing additional generation capacity.
There ends the international news. Time now for sports. The European Football Governing Body, UEFA, has appreciated the Football Association of Zambia FAZ for its consistency in implementing most of the programs undertaken by the association. UEFA Head of International Relations says UEFA is proud of FAZ and wished for the association to continue with implementing programs that are key in the development of football in Zambia and beyond. Meanwhile, the Football Association of Zambia says it is happy to realize that the legendary Barcelona team will be in the country to promote football in Zambia.
And unfortunately, not everywhere we see follow up or that something is happening. You know, people are very enthusiastic when you come, when you do the stuff, but then the implementation is lacking. And we have heard it today that it's so much depending on the quality of the people, whether on the pitch or off the pitch, South Africa is going to do well or not. So I'm really proud that this federation took it seriously. They are implementing a lot of stuff, and you see the results, huh? Because results are not falling from the sky. Somebody must be behind it. So I'm really thankful to the federation for doing a good job, and invite everyone to be part of this journey that you started. So thank you very much.
Grateful to UEFA and FIPRO for having identified this gap in our game and taking steps to fill up. from this platform, I have no doubt that our colleagues will explore more options beyond just coaching and TV punditry. It goes without saying that not all ex-footballers can become coaches. We are also interested to learn about the possible ways that we can enhance the livelihood of the livelihood and participation in our game by ex-footballers.
And on that note, we come to the end of the main news this evening. But before we go, let's look at some of the headlines that made the news. Water shortage hits parts of Lusaka's MATERO constituency. Reoccurring infernos forces the closure of Capri Girls at Technical Secondary School. President Hichilema challenges the opposition to provide solutions to economic challenges. In our international headlines, IMF approves a $3 billion United States loan to Ghana. And in sports, UEFA happy with FARS. We now look at the Camnet verse for today, coming from Deuteronomy 6, verse 9 to 6. It reads, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These words that I am giving you today are to be in your hearts." Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire production and news crew, my name is Louisia Nalupumbwe. It's bye for now. God bless.